welcome. Hello. I'm so grateful to be here. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful and so thankful. I'm so grateful and so thankful. So grateful to be alive. So grateful for this experience of life. All of it. All of the ups, all of the downs, all of the joys, all of the challenges. It's all the raw material for our unfolding, for the unfolding of our lives, for the unfolding of our consciousness. We came here loaded and encoded with everything that we need for the expansion of our soul. And some of those things might not look like things that we want. Some of those things might not look like things that we would ever want to experience. And that's the topic for today is about ceremony. And what's been coming in for me around this topic is that why do we do ceremony? Why do we meditate? Why do we want to walk a path of spiritual unfolding? So that above all else, we can see things differently. We want to see differently. We want to see the truth behind things. And so that means seeing the truth behind the apparent challenge of my life. That means seeing the truth behind the apparent story of victimhood of my life. That means seeing the truth behind everything, to see something behind, to see, as my teacher, Reverend Michael says, to see beyond what the eyes can see and hear beyond what the ears can hear, so that we can do beyond what we think is possible. So, I got right into it, didn't I? So here we are. We're at Rythmia today. Hi, everybody. Welcome. I'm looking over at y'all. Thank you for streaming in. Hey, Annie, thank you. Ethan, great to see you. Wow. And who's over here? Got Miss Shura, thank you. And Yemi, thank you. Everybody for joining. Thank you so much. So here's the thing. I'm doing ceremony tonight. And I'm going to get to do ceremony with Taita Juanito, which is a great privilege to do this. And I got to tell you, I was resisting going into it. Like even this morning, I'm like, you don't have to go. You don't have to do this. You're really good on your spiritual practice. You're doing your meditation every day. You got your sadhana every day. You're doing your physical practice every day. You're being of service every day. You're doing good. You don't got to do this. That was the voice this morning. And all week there's been this voice of resistance, like, thinking it's going to be scary or wondering what's going to happen. Is no matter how many times I've journeyed, and there are a lot of people that have journeyed a lot more than me, it's always the first time. It's always the first time. It's the beginner's mind. And so I just observed that, and I thought, well, okay, there's two pictures. I got this picture of, oh my God, I don't want to do this. It's going to be all night. I could be doing other things. I got stuff to do. Tomorrow, I'm going to take the whole day off and integrate, which is a privilege. I'm looking forward to that, like to just focus on integration tomorrow. But then there was I could be doing more things. There's more things I could check off my list. I'm feeling like I'm behind, right? Do I really need to be doing this right now? Blah, 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 all this stuff. And so there's oh God, it's all night. I don't know if I want to do it. I don't know what's going to happen. It could be scary. Boy, it's going to be hard. I've got some stuff I want to release that I'm holding on to. There's that picture, which is sort of the picture of it's going to be hard. There's going to be pain. There's going to be suffering, right? And then there's the other picture of, I have this opportunity to receive some beautiful gifts from the medicine. What a privilege. I have this opportunity. Wow, it's going to be a great experience. I'm looking forward to it. It's literally changing the script. I got this picture I can hold, or I got this picture. Two pictures. Which one do I want to look at? And the truth is that, hey, Susan Day, what's up? Hadia, hello. Spiro, thank you so much. Thank you. And Ethan, man, thank you for that beautiful. Ethan says you're always speaking truth. I hold that in my heart. And what I love about these Facebook Live sessions is um, I don't really plan them out, and I do feel like, you know, I get to flow. I get to be in flow, and I want to live my life like this when I'm in flow. Okay, so started off talking about seeing the truth behind my opinions and judgments. So the one picture that I was holding of ceremony had a lot of opinion and judgment about it. And the other picture of ceremony was seeing something different, seeing the reality behind, seeing the truth. I want to see the truth. One of the exercises I was doing today from A Course in Miracles is we're supposed to take 2 minutes and just look at something and say, above all else, I want to see the truth of that chair. I want to see, oh, above all else, I want to see that chair differently. Above all else, I want to see that computer differently. Above all else, I want to see that camera differently. And just taking a moment to say, if I can see, what are they saying? I want to see the truth of that chair, that light, that pen, that door, beyond my opinions and judgments, beyond my preconceived notions about what that's for. Because beyond my opinion and judgment is the truth about that. And if I can see the truth in a pen, the whole universe is contained in a speck of dirt. If I can see the truth behind that piece of dirt, or behind that piece of garbage, or behind that piece of plastic, if I can see the truth, then I can see the whole universe. I can see life differently. I could actually maybe even see God in everything. Maybe I could see the divine everywhere. Isn't that the point of spiritual growth and development? Isn't that the point of walking this path? To see beyond our opinions and judgments. And the opinions and judgments that we have, that I have, are coming from a place of shame and guilt, so that I project out something so that I can place my opinion and judgment over there and release myself from the responsibility of seeing differently. And so opinion, Ram Dass says, if you want to see the truth, give up your opinions and judgments. The truth is beyond what I think I know. The truth is beyond my preconceived notions, so that I can see what's really there. And to do that, I have to give up what I think I know. I have to give up my little life. There's a scripture that says, he who gives up their life for me will live forever. What is that saying? He who gives up their little life, he who gives up the life of opinion and judgment and coming and going and getting and spending and late and soon, and the life of the ego and the life of this is solid and this is real, to see beyond the reality beyond this sofa, the reality beyond what I'm seeing. This is to see the vibrancy of life in everything. I'm talking about this on an intellectual level. And my intention in ceremony tonight is to give up anything that's keeping me from being free, anything that's keeping me from seeing the truth beyond. So tonight, there was, as I was saying, there's these 2 pictures that I can hold, 2 ideas that I can hold, and they're all thought. They're all thoughts. So if thought can make it, thought can unmake it. And as in ceremony, as in life, for life is a ceremony. This is when we're talking about seeing beyond what the eyes can see, we're saying, I want to see God in everything. And if I could, and so ceremony is sacred, right? It's this unique space where we create something to be sacred, and we wear certain clothing, and we say prayers, and we hold something special and apart. To make sacred is to hold something special and apart, to sanctify it. Now, if I could sanctify life, if I could walk in life as ceremony, if every scene is my altar and every person is sacred, I'm seeing the truth. I'm seeing the truth beyond. I was just in the, Rythmia has amazing amenities, and one of the amenities is sauna and a cold plunge and a hot plunge. And I was talking to some guests, and they're Mormon, or they were Mormon, or they're at some point, you know, that was their lineage. And they were talking about some of the things about the Mormon church. And I kind of chimed in to say, you know, what's really, whether it's the Mormon church, the Catholic church, or Islam, or evangelical, or whatever, or the government, or politics, or what's going on right now with all the indictments and all of that stuff. And this is where it gets hard to see the truth beyond my opinions and judgments about a certain situation, so that I can see the truth. This is forgiveness. This is the way to see the truth, is to forgive. Forgiveness is an advanced technology, and requires only that we give up our opinion. My inability to forgive, as the Course in Miracles says, is only a justification for my inability to forgive. My judgments and opinions about, you know, the other person is only justification to prove that I'm right, so that I don't have to forgive. And okay, that's a beautiful statement. Now take it to what's going on politically in the United States right now. Whatever side of that argument that you're on, he's guilty or he's innocent, it's a witch hunt, or it's justice. Whatever side you're on is an opinion, is a perspective. And from a perspective, we're limited. I only have this perspective, this point of view. It limits any other possibility. And it's challenging for both sides to see the innocence in the other side. This is why all forgiveness is self-forgiveness, because if I can't see the innocence in another, I can't see the innocence in myself. And this is the story. This is the true story of the prodigal son. This is the true story of the return. This beautiful guy that's here this week, he said, innocence is never lost. It's only forgotten. So if I can see from whatever perspective I'm looking at the political situation in the United States right now, if I can look and just see that the other side might have forgotten their innocence, then I can see where I've forgotten my innocence. And this is to forgive, is to see the innocence in our brothers and sisters for all of the things, all of our trespasses, all of my trespasses, all of the mistakes that I have made, all of the errors that I have done. I want to be forgiven for. I want someone to see that there was something innocent in me, that I didn't really mean to do that it was an error in judgment, that it was an ignorance on my part. I was ignorant about something. I want someone else to see that in me. That's a big ask if I can't give that to another. And it gets exponentially harder the more entrenched I am in my opinions and judgments about what's going on outside of me. And so we come to this idea that anything that's going on outside of me is actually a projection of my own guilt and shame. And it's a nice way to sort of, it's called scapegoating. You know, when you create a scapegoat, you put all of your problems, issues, pain, suffering, judgment, opinion, shame, guilt. You get to put it all on something else, and then make a sacrifice of that. And that's what ancient tribal cultures did, right? They sacrificed the lamb, or they sacrificed the goat, or they made a sacrifice to the god. It was taking all of their impurities and imbuing it in that sacrificial item so that they could cleanse themselves. So that's what we do. We project out our own guilt and shame on someone else, and then cleanse ourselves of them to relinquish our own guilt and shame. And the truth is, anything that I see, therefore, if it's a projection, anything outside of me is a projection of my own guilt and shame, then the only way to change the outside world is to change the cause of that projection. And the cause of that projection is my thinking. The cause of that projection are my limited beliefs. The cause of that projection are my egoic structures. And so this is the work that to change the world. If we want to change the world, we have to do the work inside. And that's why we go to ceremony. And that's why we meditate. And that's why we fellowship. And that's why we go on retreats. And that's why we do our meditations. And that's why we do all of this work, so that I can do the work inside and cleanse myself of my own shame and guilt. And the story of the prodigal son is, you're always innocent. You've just forgotten it. The prodigal son, if you remember, received his inheritance and went out and partied and left his father's house. And then he ended up not having any money, and he found himself in a foreign land. And he was wallowing with pigs and became a slave to someone else. And at one moment he said, the servants at my father's house eat better than I do. And he thought, I can't go home. I can't go home. I've wasted my father's inheritance. Look at what I've done. I'm wallowing with pigs. I've made myself a slave. But at one moment he was able to decide, to choose to go home. Like maybe I can, with all my guilt and shame, my father will forgive me. And so he goes home. And what happens when he goes home? There was never anything to forgive. His father never, ever saw him, just wanted him home. So the exile was the guilt and shame of the sons. And this is our story. This is our story. We exile ourselves from others because of our own guilt and shame. I exile myself from others because of my own guilt and shame. I make myself a slave to compulsive behaviors and thinking, limited thought, and limited beliefs and egoic structures to protect myself, right? So that I don't have to feel that guilt and shame. When finally, all I have to do is lay it down. My mother used to say that unforgiveness is like holding a thorn in the palm of your hand and squeezing and just complaining that it hurts so much. This hurts so much. Look at this. This hurts so much. Look at this thorn. It's in my hand. It hurts. And she said, all you have to do is open up and pluck it out. All I have to do is lay it down. All I have to do is lay down my opinions and judgments. All I have to do is lay down my guilt and shame. It was a thought. It was a picture that I was holding in my mind. And and that thought, that picture, I created it. And if I created it with my thought, I can create a different thought. And my thought that's how we turn a story of victimhood into a story of victory. That's how we turn a story of rejection into a story of acceptance. It's just a shift in perspective. It's just opening up and plucking out that thorn that has been causing so much pain. So those are my thoughts going into ceremony. My intention tonight for ceremony is forgiveness. And all forgiveness is self-forgiveness. There's some folks in my life that I'm having a hard time forgiving. And I can feel that energy in this story. And I've been doing a lot of work, and the story still comes up. So I'm not saying this is easy. I'm not saying it's been challenging for me. So I'm going into ceremony and I'm surrendering. I'm asking Mother Ayahuasca. I'm asking the Holy Spirit. I'm going to lean in and ask for some help. It's going to ask for some help. Help me to lay down this heavy burden. Let me lay down my opinions and judgments at the feet of the altar of truth so that I can see beyond. Above all else, I want to see this situation differently. Above all else, I want to see my brothers and sisters differently. Above all else, I want to see myself differently so that I can be free. Sounds good, huh? Okay. That's our Facebook Live for today. That's our Instagram Live for today. That's our YouTube Live for today. I'll let you know I'll let you next week. Tune in next week and find out what the hell happened. All right. Thank you so much. Blessings. Thank you guys for joining. I'm so grateful. I'm so thankful. And by the way, this is what happens every week at Rythmia, right? Every week, people turn their stories of victimhood into victory people turn their stories of rejection and isolation into stories of belonging and love and connection. So let's be free. Let's go get free together. Let's walk this path of freedom and liberation together. Thank you. Many blessings. Many blessings. Thank you.